Alright, so this is part 3 of our Environment Tour game project. So I've created a platform that I'm going to basically have my virtual person be riding around in, like the example I showed you guys in class. Okay, so to create this I just used a bunch of cubes and I put them into an empty game object. So I'm just going to run you through just real quick. I think you can do this, but just going to go through kind of the process. So going to start with one cube, and wherever you put it you can just double click on it. You want to put it somewhere in your scene where you can see it. So see if I move this guy, it must be really low, or there it is. See how I can see in the camera where it came up. So let me double click on that guy and kind of zoom out and bring it in. I'm going to try to put it right next to my other platform so you guys can kind of see how I did it. Alright, I guess I could have used like the XYZ values of my platform, but there it is. Okay, so pretty much going to start with the basic cube, and what I did was first in the Y direction I flattened it out, so 0.25. That gives you a nice base for a floor, and then I made it scaled it out 2 by 2 in X and Z. Or was it 3? Looks like it was 3. Alright, so that looks good. And then once you get it size that you like, something like that, don't create it too big and don't create it too small. You want your character to kind of see it, but you're just going to be riding around in it. You're not really going to see it too much, so it doesn't really matter too much. But if the player uses their head to look around, they should see they're standing on a platform. Alright, so the other piece is to create all the sides. What I did was I just right clicked here and duplicated it, and then I raised it up, and you're going to raise it up. So before I move that one, I'm going to pay attention to where this is. I'm going to put it at Y equals 6. Oops, that's 0. Alright, there we go. And then I'm going to click on the one I just duplicated, and I'm going to put that up by about 1.5, so it's going to be 7.5. Alright, so 1.5 unit above, and that kind of makes sense. This is going to be, I think 1.7 is about the average height of a person, so this will be just below their average height, so they should see kind of where this is. We're going to put our camera in here at about 1.7. Alright, so you got that one side. What you want to do then is just you can scale it in one of the directions. So it looks like the directions I could scale it in are X or Z or X, so I'm going to choose the Z first, and I'm just going to keep it all proportional, so 0.25, and then I'm going to move it to the side, and here's where it gets a little bit tricky to line everything up. So right here I'm going to use my gizmo. I think it is called a gizmo. I'm going to click on the Y direction so that I'm on top, and I'll double click on what I have here. So now I can move the pan and I can see exactly where I am in relationship. So as long as you're duplicating, everything will fit really nicely. Alright, so there's that side, and just kind of move it to that end, and then right click, duplicate, cruise that over here, and then right click, duplicate, and then I want to rotate it in the Y by 90. There we go. And then I'm going to pan down just a little bit so I can grab this. Alright, and this is going to be this side. So you're just kind of making an outline. This is just a quick way to do it. You can do it however you like. And then the final side is I'm going to duplicate that. Alright, there we go. So we have all those pieces on the top, and then just to get back to where you were, you can just rotate your camera and you can kind of see, and if you want to line it up a little bit better, you can. I did a little bit better job on this part. Alright, the other thing I did is I added a material. So you want to go to your assets folder, right click and create a new folder, call it images, and then create another one and call that materials. And for your images, you're going to go to Google, and what I did is I typed wood texture. You can create whatever you want, but I think I've showed you this before. You can get some cool images from the Google texture area. So right click and save image as, and you can save it to your project's image folder. Okay. Once you have it in your image folder, just to go over how to create a material again, Oops, I need to name this guy. Double click on that. That should be wood. Alright. To create a new material, you're going to right click and click create, and then you got material, and then you're going to add an albedo to that by clicking that little dot. It comes with all the other materials you have in here, so there might be something here you already like, but here's the wood that I downloaded, and I can create one from that. Okay, so I'm going to delete this one because I don't need it. And basically, once you have your material, you just drop it on your crate and you are good to go. Okay, all your crate pieces, you want to put them into an empty game object. So go to game object, create empty, and name it. I named it platform, and I just drug all the pieces in there. All right, so that was it. So I'm going to get rid of these. And what you're going to do is just basically build your own platform, and you kind of want to put it in the scene where you want to start. I think I want to start on that side of the island, and I will face the other way. Okay, so you have your platform. It's in the place you want. It looks the way you want it. Go ahead and take a minute and save your scene. Okay, so the next piece is we are going to kind of set up our main camera to get the right look. So I'm just going to take my camera currently, and I'm going to drop it right into that platform. All right. And you'll see that I have a preview here. My camera is still facing the way it was, so I need to move it into the platform as well. So I'm going to click on my platform and kind of notice where my X, Y, and Z are, and I'm going to simplify them. 13, -2, and 29, so I can memorize those numbers really easily. Then I'm going to go to my main camera, and I'll match those up. 13, and -2, and +29. Alright, so you can see my camera is right inside of where I have this platform piece, but I can't really see anything. Alright, so the other piece is you wanted to kind of drop it down and move it around just so it kind of makes sense. And I'm going to rotate it so that it's facing the island. So I'm going to click the rotate tool and rotate until I can see, maybe, there we go. See the island in there. So I'm kind of way above it. So I'm going to take a minute and pause and get this set up. Okay, so one thing I noticed is I used my platform empty object instead of the cube that was inside here, and that can have a totally different effect, okay? Because my cube in the bottom has a totally different location than that guy. So kind of want those to match up. We have my cube at the bottom is at -2. So before I put all of these things inside of my platform, I probably should have made those match up, but I'm currently going to just move my camera over to this guy. So that's at -2, 8, and -10. Alright, and then if I rotate down, I get to see my camera's kind of just below where this is, and I'm going to move it just above. So there we go. I do want to see the create, and I want to look like I'm kind of standing in it. So you're going to put it just above there, and that's probably pretty good. Okay. Then I'm going to zoom down. Okay, cool. So let me grab my platform and move myself down. It looks like I need to move down. Trying to do now is just to see how I can orient it so I can see the island. It looks like I need to rotate to the left. I see a shadow on this side, so let me rotate it. There we go. So it might take you a little while to figure out where to place the camera, but you want the camera so that you can kind of see like you're standing on this platform and that you have the island in front of you. Alright, so you're going to kind of cruise into the island. Okay, so I got that. It's all good. Alright, so I'm going to save this. And I put a script on your on Google Classroom called Platform Control. So I'm just going to download that and I'm going to add that to my scene. Okay. Alright, so I have my script downloaded. Here it is, and I'm going to go here to my assets folder and create a new folder for scripts. Alright, open up my scripts folder. Oops, wrong one. Alright, I'm going to go here and just drag my platform control.cs in there. And I think it's going to work. What I'm going to try to do is just drop this onto the platform. Just like that. Okay. And I'm going to press play and see what happens. Alright, cool. I don't have any targets, but it looks alright. It looks like I'm kind of slanted, but I'm okay with that. I think the camera will straighten out when we convert this to VR. So I'm getting an error saying that I'm out of range because I don't have any targets. So I don't have targets because I didn't place any around the scene. So I'm going to show you basically how to place a target, and then I'm going to pause and I'll place what we need is at least, well, I'm going to go for just 3 for this demo, but you can put as many targets as you want in there. Alright, so I'm going to put 3 targets. A target basically consists of an empty game object called target. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to click over here, choose create empty, and I'm going to call this, I'll do capital target 1. Alright, and I need to figure out where the heck this thing is. So really I want to go with my cube for my platform, -2, 8, and -10. I'm going to put this guy kind of on there. Oops. 8, -10. Alright, close enough. So I got my target here, and there it is. I can see these guys, so you can't really see this target. It's invisible, but you can go around and you can kind of see where it is going to be basically on your scene. Looks like it's going through the island. So wherever this target is where my platform is going to go. Alright, so there's my first one. So once I get it kind of relatively where I want it, I'm going to right click, duplicate, and I'll just cruise it here, maybe up on this side, right click and duplicate. And I'm really making this kind of simple and fast. I want you to actually kind of think about where you're putting your targets. Okay, let me drop it down. Alright, that's good enough. Alright, so then you want to make sure they're named correctly. So you have target 1, target 2. The script actually won't be broken if you don't name these, but it just makes sense so you know where you're going from first, second to third, and so on. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my platform, and you see where it says no transform for these targets. I'm going to load them in there. So this is my first one, second one, and third one. Alright, I'm going to try to test it and see if it works. Okay, so for some reason I am way off. I'm going to move down a little bit. And you want to mess with your speed. Currently it's like 0.05. We're not going to go very fast with the VR because it'll make you sick, but for this you can go a little bit faster. So I'm going to try that. Alright, so every time you click, it's going to take you to a new target. And I can see right now that my targets are not in the right spot. Alright, so I'm going to let you try to figure that out, where to put your targets based on the XYZ thing. Okay, so that's the idea.